going on, guys? So I decided to make a video of showing you how to put the Ford Sync 2 update on a thumb drive. I've had a lot of questions in my video below how to enable navigation on Ford Sync 2 because it does require you to update to 3.08 or 3.10, which is the newest update. It does require you to update to that, and if you're already on that, you need to update the actual, or at least install the navigation app on the actual sync part, as well as you also need to have the Maps SD card. So if you found this video and haven't seen this video yet, if your compass is like this and it says information at the very top right, you do have the ability to enable navigation on any Sync 2 device. This is a Sync 2 screen right here, so if your screen looks familiar like this, you do have the ability to enable it. Whether your Ford dealership tells you that's a false or not, it's not true. So I will link the video of how to actually enable the actual navigation itself in the description below of this video. But this video is in particular to answer most of the questions, the most common questions I get in this video. So let's get started here. First of all, you'll find most of the stuff in the description here. So here's the devices you'll need, and then you'll have to click show more. So you'll need the actual OBD2 Elm connector. This allows you to connect to the computer itself to make one change. You'll need a thumb drive, whether you buy one or from this link, or if you have your own, that's fine. A small one will do. I think the update itself, the biggest part is, I think it's 512 megabytes. So if you have like a 1 gigabyte, you'll be fine. And then you'll need an actual Ford Maps SD card. So I've listed 3 of them here. Obviously the A10 is the newest one. I think A11 they may have come out with, I'm not sure. Also, you'll have the downloads here. So if you are not on 3.08 or 3.10, you have to actually update your Sync 2. So here's the link for the updates itself. If you're already on one of these, here is the update for the actual nav app for each one of these. If you click one of these links and update to 3.08 or 3.10 with these links, you don't actually have to install the nav app separately. It actually comes with it. You do have to have the Navi patch. This is actually an image, a wallpaper image that kind of unlocks the license that you'll actually need. Don't open up the image on your computer. It won't work. Just put it on an SD card, just put it on a thumb drive by itself and then load it into your Sync 2 as an actual image, a wallpaper. And then there's like a blue unlock button on the screen. You just tap that on the screen and it says unlocked and you can remove it. Also, I wanted to explain a little bit more about the versions because it's kind of confusing. I get a lot of questions lately about, oh, I have version 4.3. Isn't that newer than 3.10 or 3.08? It actually is not. So like so Sync Gen, when you see the information in your information screen for the version 4.1, 4.92 and 4.30 and 3.2 are generally the versions I get asked about. Well, I'm already on this one. Is that good enough? Isn't the newer one? Well, technically it's not. So technically 4.29 is actually 3.51. 4.30 is actually 3.62. And then 4.32 is actually 37.11. And then you get to 3.8 and 3.10. So this information here kind of explains all of that. I know it's very confusing how Ford actually labeled these, but that's just how they did it. And so if you're not on 3.08 or 3.10, you need to update to that. And it's actually not bad. It takes about 20 to 30 minutes to update fully. And so all you'll do is actually download this file and put it on the SD card. So I want to get into that as well. I'm actually going to format this drive. I recommend FAT32. MS-DOS FAT will work as well. Now, if you have Windows device, it's a little bit different. I won't show you how to do that. I don't have a Windows device, but there's a lot of videos out there. You actually right-click on it, and there's a format option. So when you download the actual update, here is the 3.08 update. It's a zip file, so you need to uncompress it, unzip it, and then you get the folder. The biggest mistake here is people drag this folder and put it on the disk, and that's when you get the actual error when you put the thumb drive in the actual USB port in the car. You actually need to open this folder, and these contents, you need to drag these contents to the actual thumb drive. And I mentioned the root folder, put it on the root folder of the actual drive. The root folder is actually the first spot in the actual folder. Actually, I'm sorry. The root folder is actually the first spot on the actual drive itself. So technically this is the root of this drive. So once you have these files, or all the files that were in that folder, in the root area of the actual disk, then you're good to eject the thumb drive and then plug it into your MySync 2 or your USB port in your car. I recommend starting your vehicle and letting it idle while you do this so it doesn't run the battery down. It does, like the full update takes about 20 to 30 minutes. The actual nav app update doesn't take as long, but it'll automatically start updating once you put it in there. And that's what the auto install file is here for. There are zip files and cab files in this folder. Don't worry about those, leave those alone. So there you go. We'll remove these because we don't need them anymore. But the Navipatch, you can't put that on the same thumb drive at the same time. That is a separate function. Do that after the fact. So now that we've actually updated the computer or the Sync 2, we'll drag and drop this. And then we take the disk or the thumb drive and then we put it in the computer, or I'm sorry, not the computer, but we put it in the vehicle's USB thumb drive. We can actually go to the wallpaper area options, and then we can actually get that in there and click unlock. There really isn't a chain of events you need to do. Like there isn't, this is the first thing you need to do, this is the second thing you need to do, really. But the first thing I would do is make sure you're updated 3.08 and 3.1 or 3.10, whichever you decide. These are the US updates. I don't have the Europe or anything else updates. Europe is the same thing. You can buy the Europe stuff or download those. I don't have the links for those, I'm sorry, but it works the same way. So I recommend updating, make sure you're updated 3.08 and 3.10. If you're already there, make sure you do the nav app the same way. And then I recommend doing the Navipatch. And then I recommend doing the ForScan and editing the number 4 in that hex editor, which you can find in that video that I linked below to show you how to do that with ForScan. And then I recommend doing a master reset twice, at least. And then you should be able to, in this area, see that this compass has shrunken. And then you should see navigation here, or insert navigation card. So make sure you have a navigation card. I do know people get them off eBay and they have issues where they don't work. So buy off eBay at your own risk, but I do know the links that I have provided below for purchase do work, and a lot of people have bought them from there. It also, if you click on these links below here and purchase items, it helps my channel out as well. So it helps me out, gives me a little kickback. So I appreciate all that. So if you have any further questions after that, feel free to put them in the comments below like you already have been. I tried to reply as best and quickly as I can. Sometimes it takes a few days to get back to it, but I usually reply within the day. You can also find me on Instagram or Twitter and actually message me on there. And while you're there, follow me. Make sure you follow me. And then if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe, and I will see you next time.